making up some bacon, cheddar, and green onion buttermilk biscuits. So first we're going to be starting with the base of the biscuit, so I have some flour. I then have some baking powder, baking soda, some sugar, and some salt. Then I have 2 very cold sticks of butter that we're going to be cutting up. And just using my fingertips, I'll first toss it around, and then we'll be mashing it together with our fingertips. So at this point we can see we have varying sized pieces of butter, which is exactly what I want. Alright, so at this point our butter and our flour mixture is combined. Now I'm going to place this in the freezer for a little bit. Whenever I'm making biscuits, I prefer to keep my ingredients as cold as possible throughout the entire process, which will help with the end bake overall. So while our flour and butter mixture is getting cold in the freezer, we're next going to be working on making our bacon. So I prefer making my bacon in the oven, but you can definitely do it however you'd like. So I have my oven set to 375, so this will go in there for about 15 minutes. So our bacon is done and I cut it up into pieces, so now we're going to be grating our cheese. So now with our very cold butter and flour mixture, I'm going to add in the cheese. We then have our bacon. And then I'm going to be chopping up some green onions. And so now we'll pour in our very cold buttermilk. And I'll start with a spatula to get this all mixed together. So now at this point I'm going to pour it all out. So once we've gotten it together, I'm just going to roll it out a little bit, and then I'm going to cut it into thirds. We'll then stack it together, and then smash it. By doing this, this will help create some of those layers. And so now we'll do the process again. So I usually like doing the stacking process probably 3 or 4 times. So total we'll be making 9 biscuits. So if we look closely, we can see some of those layers that we just created. Then at this point, I'm going to add the biscuits to a parchment lined pan. I'm going to preheat our oven to 450, and while I do, I'm going to put these back in the freezer. So I had the biscuits in the freezer for about 20 minutes, and now I'm going to top them with some buttermilk. I had our oven preheating at 450, so now I'm going to drop it to 400 and get these in there. So these were in the oven for about 30 minutes. They smell amazing, but they're still super hot, so we're going to let them cool for a little bit longer. So we let these cool down for a little bit, so now for the best part, I get to eat one. So I love the flavor overall. It's nice and crunchy on the bottom and the top, and then really fluffy on the inside. I'm really happy with the amount of inclusions I added because you get a bite of the cheese, the bacon, and the green onions throughout. These biscuits would be great with some jam, some butter, or even as breakfast sandwiches too. I'll be sure to have the ingredients in my caption and the full recipe in my newsletter soon.